When a friend of mine finally decided to upgrade from his cheap pod machine, he called me up at midnight, half asleep, and asked, "Do you think I should go all-in on one of those high-end espresso rigs, or just stick with a decent grinder and a manual portafilter?" I could hear the hesitation in his voice. He didn't want to drop $1,000 only to end up with a machine that would sit idle because it was too complicated, or because the coffee just didn't taste right. That's exactly the spot I'm sitting in with the Breville Oracle Touch. If you're standing at the same crossroads, wondering whether this countertop beast is worth the price tag, keep listening. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the Oracle Touch sits in a weird sweet spot between a fully manual barista workstation and a one-button pod system. It's a two-group espresso machine with an integrated grinder, a touchscreen interface, and automatic milk frothing. The idea is simple. You press a few icons, the machine grinds, doses, tamp, extracts, and textures milk without you having to lift a tamper. In theory, that sounds like the perfect compromise for a home coffee lover who wants café-level drinks without learning every nuance of pressure profiling and puck preparation. Let's talk about the daily rhythm of using this thing. You wake up, grab your favorite bag of beans, fill the hopper, and head to the touchscreen. The UI walks you through selecting the bean type, grind size, DOS, and even the temperature of the brew. For someone who's been grinding with a hand crank burr grinder and pulling shots with a lever, that level of automation can feel like a massive time saver. You can actually walk away for a few minutes while the machine grinds, tamp, and extracts. The milk frothing is similarly hands-off. You pour cold milk into the integrated pitcher, select latte or cappuccino, and the machine creates microfoam in about 30 seconds. In my house, that means a quick flat white before the kids are out the door, and no more fighting over the single-serve machine that always runs out of pods. But the convenience comes with hidden trade-offs. The touchscreen is slick, yet it can be a little finicky when your kitchen is foggy or when you're wearing a watch with a metallic band. A quick tap sometimes registers as a double tap, which can overdose the grind or start a second extraction cycle. The machine also has a learning curve in terms of maintenance. The drip tray, bean hopper, and milk pitcher all need daily cleaning, and the brew group has to be backflushed weekly. If you're the type who wipes down the counter and forgets about the espresso machine for weeks, you'll eventually notice the taste drift toward bitterness because the brew head is coated in old coffee oils. The Oracle Touch does alert you when it needs cleaning, but those alerts can feel like nagging reminders if you're not already in the habit of regular upkeep. Now, who really benefits from this setup? If you're a coffee enthusiast who already knows the difference between a 92C and a 96C extraction, you'll probably find the automatic dosing and tamping a bit too limiting. You'll miss the tactile feedback of manually adjusting the grind and pressure, and you may feel constrained by the preset profiles. On the other hand, if you're a busy professional, a parent juggling a hectic schedule, or someone who enjoys entertaining and wants to serve espresso-based drinks without hiring a barista, the Oracle Touch shines. It gives you consistent results with minimal guesswork, and the built-in grinder means you're always using fresh beans, which is a huge upgrade over pre-ground coffee or pods. The price point is another practical consideration. This isn't a $300 entry-level machine. We're talking roughly $2,500 for the brushed stainless steel version. That's a serious investment, and the value you get is tied to how often you actually use it. If you make 2 to 3 drinks a day, the cost per cup drops quickly and the machine pays for itself in convenience and quality. If you only brew on weekends, the same cost feels more like a luxury that sits under a cabinet. One thing that adds tangible value is the free 2 bags of specialty coffee you receive when you register the machine. That's a nice way to test the grinder's capabilities right out of the gate, but it's also a small offset compared to the overall price. Let's look at the strengths in the context of everyday life. The dose control grinding is precise. You can set the machine to grind 18 grams, 19 grams, or any increment in between, and it repeats that dose with less than a gram of variance. For most home users, that translates to a consistently balanced shot, meaning you don't have to keep adjusting the grind because the espresso suddenly becomes watery or overly thick. The optimal water pressure, regulated by an internal pump, maintains a steady 15 bars during extraction, which is the sweet spot for pulling a good crema. I've noticed that even with beans that are